You know, I got to tell you something. I've never been more disappointed in my entire life. When you look at the group of players, you got Democrats. All right, we know what they want. This is their holy grail, Obamacare. Progressives, leftists have wanted it for 100 years. Statists, that this is their holy grail. Then you got, the media. We know where they stand. The problem with me is I am just furious with the Republicans. You're right. Every one of these guys made the pledge that they'd go to Washington and repeal health care. And the guys that are actually fulfilling the promise have somehow become the bad guys in all of this, even amongst their fellow Republicans. It's so irritating. And, I've never thought third party. I'm beginning to wonder if maybe there needs to be a third party.
Yeah, well, keep thinking along those lines, because if the Republican Party leaves me and leaves you, well, you're not even a registered Republican. Even as my husband Todd, my closest people to me, aren't even registered within the party because they have seen how the machine works, and they're like, I'm going to be conservative, common sense, independent, and I'm going to make my decisions not based on what some kind of establishment tells me to. So, but if the Republican Party leaves a lot of us, well, we will have nowhere to go but third party. So you keep thinking along those lines. But look, what the establishment within the party is doing right now, and I'm not going to hold back and pretend like what they're doing is okay, because it's not. They're joining too often in that far left agenda, Sean, to kind of break our spirit and wear us down and try to make us feel helpless, so that only government can be the answer, so that our politicians can be trusted to make decisions that are wiser than we as individuals and as businessmen and women can make for ourselves. No, we can't capitulate. We can't cave. We can't wave that white flag and let them get away with it. We have to show them that the voice of the people, it's loud, it's strong, it's wise. We're a free country. Whatever it takes, we're going to continue to be a free country, and maybe what it takes is getting out of that political machine that at this point is called the GOP.
I keep hearing in this debate that these are just tactical differences, that every Republican really believes they want to do everything they can do to get rid of health care, but there's just tactical differences. And then I ask, well, all right, well, what's the tactical difference? And they say, well, come out and vote for us in 2014. I'm like, okay, well, let's say you win the House and Senate in 2014. Obama's still president for 2 more years after that. That means 4 solid years that Obamacare is law of the land, and they think that in 2016, if they get the Senate in 2014, if they keep the House and Senate in 2016, if they get a Republican president, then they'll do something about it, by God. I'm like, why are they always pushing a fight down the road for another day? If they don't fight on this, Governor, I'm like, there's no difference to me between the two parties at this point. This is one of those bold-colored difference moments that I think Reagan talked about.
Right. Well, what they're doing is looking for a smaller hilltop on which to stake their flag and claim some kind of victory. No, the hilltop is large. It's looming in front of us. The hilltop, the mountain in front of us, is financial catastrophe within our nation unless we fight now, and Obamacare has much to do with it. And ironically, with Obamacare, we're not fighting against health care. We're fighting for more health care, better health care, more affordable health care, where we have our choices and our economic freedom to decide what's best for us, not some faceless bureaucrats, politicians in Washington, D.C., telling us what is best for us. That kind of tyranny, that kind of statist-type thinking has never worked. Look at history. History proves catastrophe befalls a regime like that, and that's what's going on. But, the next big battle, in addition to trying to get our politicians to remember, they promised, the GOP did, to repeal Obamacare, is the debt ceiling. If our president believes that he can violate the 14th Amendment and not service our debt first, I think it's impeachable. Section 4, Article of the 14th Amendment, it compels our nation's CEO to pay debts first. And he also, by the way, can't misuse the 14th Amendment to seize the power from Congress that Article 1 gives Congress by just thinking he can willy-nilly raise the debt ceiling without their approval.